This is my match video for the tactical rifle match held at the Ben Lomond Gun Club, July 6th, 2019. I am using a local IRTV Discord patron's Colt 6920 with a carry handle mounted 4-power optic. I have less than 2,000 rounds through rifles in my life, and before today I've never used a proper scope, only red dots and red dots with magnifiers, as well as iron sights. For the first stage, we fired one round through each port of the VTAC barricade at the center A zone of a standard USPSA target at 50 yards. We had 2 strings of fire. Here I dug the muzzle into the dirt and am shaking it out. I then line up the muzzle directly with the barricade, and everyone tells me to not do that.
Thank you.
You guys already fucked up my brand new prop, man. Muzzle brake.
It's time to give it to some carry.
Alright. Are you ready? Stand by.
Where in the hell?
Circuit's delay with the rifle.
Well,
It's just weird because everybody that's missing is missing Kyle. But then they're telling me the point of impact is now you should have left.
oh shit, that's not.
Alright. Range is clear.
This stage I only threw 2 rounds, one to the left and one to the right. Both were on the first string. With my time of 130.43 seconds, I earned a hit factor of 0.5367 and 46.22% of the winner's score. The second stage had targets close on either side, 3 targets close through 3 ports, and 9 targets in the back. On these closer targets, I stopped using the optic and just looked down the side of the rifle, watching for hits in the dirt and on the target. This felt faster to me, even though I wasted more ammo.
Please get MB charging handles have purposes beyond.
Alright, muzzle up, range clear!
I failed to engage the 2 targets on the far right side, and this left me with 4 misses. I ended having a time of 61.08 and a hit factor of 1.4407. This was 23.83% of the winner's score. For this stage, there were 3 targets to be engaged, and a mandatory move and reload, and then 3 more targets to engage. All of this was to be done within 6 seconds.
Shooter ready! Stand by! Stop!
Very few competitors fired more than 6 rounds. This is the second time the match has been run, and I will speak to this later in the video.
No. Or, yeah, apparently. I don't know where it went. Just back pocket.
Oh, he doesn't have a pouch? No, he's
Perfect.
Alfred, sit down.
Okay, load and make ready.
I need to practice loading full magazines on a closed bolt. This is something that I haven't practiced very much with rifles.
Everything.
Is it in?
Yeah, no, we'll pretend like it is.
In my second run, I went for clean rather than fast and spent a little extra time on each of the shots.
Unload, show clear. Clear, bolt back. Weapon on safe.
Please
Muzzle
do
up.
the thing. Yeah.
I ended with 53 points, which was 77.94% of the winner's score. This stage had 4 hanging steel at the back of the bay and 12 targets with various amounts of hard cover.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Are you ready? Stand by.
I wasn't comfortable doing double taps on the move with this rifle, so I did triple taps and mostly stopped.
Muzzle up. Range is clear!
I only had 4 C-zone hits as a result, though I did have a slow time of 57.17, a hit factor of 2.3789, and 34.36% of the winner's score. The final stage was a long-range stage where there were 5 positions, a triangle port, a tank trap, a strap cross thing, a tire, and a spool. From each of these positions you were to engage 5 targets, 2 were at 150 yards, and 3 were at 200 yards. They only needed 1 hit each. If you would like to watch me waste about $50 of ammo and talk about how I apparently was using a scope incorrectly, go for it. Otherwise, jump ahead to the time code in the video or click the link in the pinned comment. As I said at the beginning of this video, I've never seen this rifle before today, and I've never used a scope before today. I was treating this very much like my red dot, put the dot on the target, pull the trigger, and get a hit. I was missing a critical part of using a scope that I am now very aware of. You need the viewing window to be a perfect circle rather than sort of a half moon or having a ring around it. This is not the case with any red dot that I've used. All of the ones that I have used have had a 0.5 MOA parallax plus or minus, which means that if the dot is at the edge of the tube, you'll be off by approximately a half an inch at 100 yards. This is entirely irrelevant for shooting at this range, as it would only be 1 inch at 200 yards, and these are 6-inch plates. So with a 2 MOA dot, 4 inches at 200 yards, and 1 inch of shift left or right, if you put the dot in the center, assuming that you have a rifle that can shoot that well and that you can shoot that well, you will still hit the plate. I, however, cannot shoot that well and would still have probably had a very hard time with a red dot, even if it was magnified. My fellow Discord member whose rifle this was also having a difficult time with this stage, and we've determined on the car ride home that it mostly had to do with our sight picture and head position on the rifle. We came to this conclusion because we would spend 20 or 30 seconds on an individual target, get a hit, move on to the next target, and nail it with the first shot.
I just need to...
Here's that time code again in case you want to just skip this.
first. Where?
High. Just high. Still over the top. Just a little closer. A little high and right. Still. A little low there.
Actually, I'm gonna come back to this.
That thing kicked my ass. Hit! Hit!
That was soon on.
Yeah, really like the That's a cool one. I like that.
Where?
Shoot, which way?
I'm gonna shoot it this time.
Just over the top of the back left. Just low of the back left.
Shit's bad.
Got about 12 seconds. Right, low. Time. 299.8.
After the 5-minute par time concluded and I basically used all of the ammo that I brought to the range, I hit 12 steel and had a fairly bad stage. Overall, I finished the match 43rd of 46 who attended and with 36.5% of the winner's score. This match has taught me a few important things. First, and most obvious of these, is how to properly use a magnified optic. Second, that an ambidextrous charging handle is excellent for reasons beyond being left-handed. Showing clear and locking the bolt open is far easier for me to do with an ambi handle where I can grab on the right side and unlatch it, rather than have to grab the left side to undo the latch. Third, my hat cam worked fairly well with zero modifications to mounting for both rifle and pistol. I do have 2 additional notes for match directors, both directly for this match's director and for general match directors. The El Presidente stage in this match was far too hard. Something should have been different in my opinion. More time, less targets, no movement. Something just to change it up so that it was a little bit easier. Only 10 of the competitors had more than 12 hits, and most people in my squad barely got the mag to the magwell, let alone seat it. My other more general note is that USPSA style scoring feels wrong to me for this match. I think that penalties should be time-based. Using stage 5 as an example, the winner had a score of 107.22 seconds. I parred out on the 300-second stage, had 13 targets, unneutralized, 10 seconds per target. This means that I would have a final stage score of 430 seconds. My percentage of the winner's score would then be 24.93%, and my stage score would be 31.168. This style of scoring seems more intuitive to me. Yes, it probably doesn't matter. I still think it's better. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.